Ashes of Creation is about to change MMOs forever. Now we've been keeping up with Ashes, watching the little updates that they drop, talking about it on this channel. We do love MMOs here, of course. But Ashes of Creation changing MMOs forever? I don't know about this. Might be overhyped. Ashes of Creation. Yeah, let's see what Nixium has to say about
What
this.
makes Ashes of Creation different from other MMOs? Take a look around and you'll notice that 2023 is
5.
boasting a massive number of exciting new MMO titles. Throne and Liberty, Arc 2, Dune Awakening. There's a lot happening this year, but the most anticipated...
I do feel like we are in an MMO renaissance, so to say. I feel like we're seeing the return of MMOs. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the metaverse and all that stupid bullshit, because really the metaverse is just an MMO. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. It's just MMOs. That's it. That's what the metaverse is. It's a massive multiplayer online world, okay? But I feel like everybody's getting into MMOs. Amazon, all the big companies are trying to make them. Amazon's been making them. You know, they got their New World shit. That maybe they're making their Lord of the Rings shit. Who knows? Microsoft said, fuck it. We're not going to make one. We're just going to buy the best MMO. And they went and bought Blizzard Activision. I mean, it seems like there's a big investment back into MMOs. And then we got the, the one where some rich man just decided to make his own. Ashes of Creation.
Hated MMO of them all, by far, is Ashes of Creation. You have your regular character customizations, economies, guilds, and raids, but there's so much more that will make your MMO-loving hands tremble with excitement when it comes to this game. Let's dive into this hyped-up MMO, and let's see what makes Ashes so special. Number 1, it's subscription-based, but there's a catch. That's right, Ashes of Creation is launching with a $15 a month subscription fee. And unlike a few games that get region locked, Intrepid Games has promised that Ashes of Creation will be open to everybody. But Nixium, you say, worried that $15 is a bit steep for where you live? Is the subscription fee going to be the same across the board? Well, no, my friend, it won't. You see, Intrepid Studios says that they're going to harmonize the fee based on where players are located. So, for example, let's say you live somewhere in Asia, then you will see a price that makes sense according to your local economy.
I'm not gonna lie, the sub-based shit is pretty big dick on their part. It's brave. It's brave. In a world of free-to-play, you gotta remember World of Warcraft came out and subs were, they were a thing, but they really weren't a thing. But free-to-play certainly wasn't. And in today's world, I mean, Jesus, people just, they expect to play a game for free. So putting a sub wall is certainly going to limit the amount of players initially that they get. But it could still be profitable. WoW certainly
Spotify does the same thing, fun fact.
But I feel like WoW's grandfathered into the sub
there is
shit.
no pay to win in Ashes of Creation. So if you're worried that maybe some player is going to buy a loot box or XP potion to level their character
I'm glad
up,
that doesn't
don't worry.
exist. Yeah, I don't want that.
This applies to cosmetic items too, by the way. None of the items that you buy to deck out your weapons or characters will level you up or give you an advantage in the field. It's all fair game. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the more, gameplay side of Ashes of Creation and what makes it special. Number 2, the node system. You guys are going to love this one because it's the game's ace in the hole. The node system is by far one of the most innovative game mechanics that Ashes of Creation is introducing, and it works like this. At launch, the game will consist of 100 nodes. Now, each of these nodes can be one of 4 different types: militaristic, divine, economical, or scientific. Now, players will not be able to create a node, but they will be able to influence how the node changes over time. Every node will have a government, and the players will be able to elect a mayor who will be in charge of running the node.
Like a real person?
You want to know what's really fun? Each type of node has a different way of electing its own government. Let's say you're playing in a militaristic node, and you want to be in charge. Well, it's an old-fashioned trial by combat. The last one standing wins. And on the other hand, if you're in an economical node, then you will need to have some deep pockets, because here it's the highest bidder will win control. It's a new and exciting way to change the dynamic of the world, and it makes sure that every server looks fresh and feels unique. Number 3.
What? The fuck? What is that? I just want to kill dragons and get gear. What the hell? What is the point? I player influence on nodes? Okay, maybe I don't understand the whole node shit. Yeah, I don't understand, but I guess maybe he's going to talk about it more. I don't.
3. The
Why would
nodes
you want
will
to be the
adapt
leader of a
to
node?
player influence. Now, you might be wondering if the government of a node decide what it looks like, or whether a node can be leveled up to gain new equipment, quests, world-building elements, whatever. And you know what?
Okay.
You're right. A node's government does decide what a particular node's aesthetic will look like. But that aesthetic will shift and change depending on who contributes to it the most. Let's say, for example, dwarves helped craft a bunch of stuff and they helped build the buildings and they helped lay the roads. Well, over time, their contribution is going to pop up in the node's aesthetic. The node will begin to have a distinct dwarvish look, including warm and earthly tones,
cool.
mechanical contraptions, the use of stones, metals, and wood in buildings.
That's kind of cool in that, you know, like he said, if a lot of dwarves, you enter a zone and you would know, okay, there's a lot of dwarves here, a lot of dwarven influence going on in the architecture and everything. But I still don't understand why. Why would you want to be the leader of a node? What's the benefit of that? Just, name recognition? I don't know.
For humans, orcs, elves,
TikTok government
everyone's
nodes.
contribution matters in this game. Number 4, seasons come and go. Now that we've taken a little look into the node system, it's time to take it up a notch with the game's seasonal system. Now, the developers showed this off in a demo of their Alpha 2 build, and it looks gorgeous. Every 2 weeks, in real time.
Kind of on what Diedrich is saying. Yeah, you got to remember, WoW became very popular because it was a very simple. It was basically MMOs for noobs, to be completely honest with you guys. It was very uncomplicated. It was just like make a character, adventure out into this world, and see what it's all about. That's what WoW was popular based on, right? WoW was by no means a hardcore game. We talk about hardcore and all this shit. No, it wasn't, man. Classic was the baby bottle version of MMOs. If you looked at other shit that was around at the time, like EverQuest and stuff, that was way more hardcore than WoW. But WoW brought MMOs to the mainstream. Now, Ashes is looking, I don't know if it's targeting the more hardcore player with that node shit, but that shit is certainly something that somebody who plays this game is going to have to play a lot to be really contributing to a node. Otherwise, if you're just like a retail WoW Andy who logs in after his job and maybe he's fondled his wife for a little bit and now he's going to get on the game for 2 hours, I can't imagine you contributing in any way to a node. That shit's just going to happen when you're offline. So I don't understand. I guess that's their target audience. They're really going for the more hardcore player.
A biome will go through a seasonal change, and this depends on their location. For example, a biome in the northern part of the world, it might be subject to more cold weather, whereas something in the tropical areas might get more summer. So let's say it's winter. The roads and the mountain passes that were open during the summer might be blocked or closed off. Certain items that you couldn't get in the spring will now be available to use. The seasons combined with the revolutionary node system will make Ashes of Creation a highly dynamic, immersive, and challenging experience. Imagine taking a break for a week or two and coming back to a whole new world. The weather's different, the node is different, the environment, buildings, road, government,
but I don't know if
all
I
of
like
that will be completely different in as little.
The weather being different is one thing, but it doesn't play well in nostalgia, which is a very powerful thing. When I come back to a game, I don't want the whole fucking city to be different. I don't want the bank to be in a new spot and the whole aesthetic to have changed. I want Stormwind to still look like Stormwind when I come back to the game and everything to be where I remember it being. I don't know about this. This whole node thing's kind of thrown me off, I'm not going to lie.
As 2 weeks. It's going to be a wild ride, let's put it that way. Number 5, Ashes of Creation has an immense scope. All the things that I've mentioned so far pale in comparison.
Yeah, maybe it'll force people to log on because of FOMO. Maybe.
Massive this game world is going to be. If 100 nodes carefully placed in a massive open world were not enough, here's a brief list of what you'll be getting once you boot into the game at launch. Ashes has a world map that is estimated to be 1,200 square kilometers in size, 480 square kilometers of land, and 750 square kilometers of water. Now, I'm going to get to why there's so much water in a second.
Why is there so much
water? You'll also
water?
Get access to 9 different races with male and female.
That troll looked so damn derpy. What the hell? That's one derpy. The orc is okay, slightly cross-eyed. The humans look great. The dwarves look great. I don't know what the hell that troll is. He looks derpy as shit.
You'll also get access to 9 different races with male and female characters and in-depth character customization where you can decide how sad you want your character's eyes to look.
That's a lot.
There's also an open-world PvP system with the corruption system that will discourage players from griefing others, castle and node sieges, which I'm sure that every MMO player is familiar with, an artisan system that gives players access to 3 branches called gathering, processing, and crafting. You name it, Ashes of Creation has it. The massive world will be teeming with things to do, and so will the ocean. That's right, that 750 square kilometers of water will be utilized by an Arc-Age-style naval system. Players will be able to use
like WoW's next expansion.
Ships, take to the open sea, have epic battles with other combatants, and loot other ships and then anchor their vessels at a nearby harbor. Goodness gracious.
Maybe you take to the open sea and you just want to be a pirate. Why? Because you don't want to deal with the node system on land. So you're like, fuck these nodes. I'm going to be a pirate on the open sea for the rest of my life. I'm not dealing with this shit. There you go.
6.
Pirate nodes, no.
Ashes of Creation runs on Unreal Engine 5, which means jaw-dropping skyboxes and gorgeous nighttime views. It also means there's going to be a lot of constellations to discover in the night sky. And I know what you're thinking, but hold on. It's not just for aesthetic purposes. Constellations will appear at...
The thing is, this game's not going to look like this for most people. Most people play on their PCs from their 1070, that they got 10 years ago. So you're going to need a 40 series card at least to have the game look anything like this.
Specific locations at specific times of day. And you need to pay attention to your environment in Ashes if you're going to make good use of these things. This is what I love about games, where you need to keep an eye out for things that make the narrative much more immersive. And to explain a little further, the constellations in Ashes of Creation will have an effect on both the narrative and your character's abilities. Now, these things will keep changing throughout the night, so just make sure you stay on your toes. This constellation system is fascinating.
It's like a world
I'm really
buff
excited
thing.
to see what they do with it. Number 7, the environment responds. This is a tiny detail, but once you see it, you will wish that every other MMO had it too. Now, I mentioned earlier, Unreal Engine 5, right? It opens up a host of new possibilities for MMORPGs.
Right.
It's a complex physics engine, and it allows particles to ebb and flow like real objects. So for example, let's say you use a shout ability and you're standing on a grassy hill. When your character shouts, the grass is going to physically move in the direction of the shout. This makes the game so much more tangible,
that's cool.
Realistic, and immersive compared to other
shouting
MMOs.
At the grass.
Seeing grass, stone...
Never touching grass, but shouting at the grass. Yes. A typical MMO player's view on grass. Very good.
Glass react.
This is accurate. It's more accurate than I expected.
Feedback is always good fun, and it makes the world appear much more alive and energetic. I'm just curious if I can go up and use Battle Shout around, like, a player-made home and break the glass of their windows, because that would be hilarious. Number 8, story arcs that depend upon the world. Finally, let us dive into the story arc system of Ashes of Creation. These are your standard fantasy campaigns that are strewn out the game world. Now, the most interesting thing about these is that they will only be triggered if certain node, regional, or cultural conditionals are met.
Fuck, this node system is like intertwined in everything, it looks like. Oh, shit. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've lost a lot of hype throughout this video.
You're near a castle, and you've completed a few quests, and the surrounding area has the right amount of cultural activity going on in the background. A story arc will get triggered, which will inject new NPCs, monsters, and quests into that area. These arcs can also branch into multiple other stories with multiple possible endings. This means that you're never going to run out of scripted canon events within Ashes of Creation.
Well, until the node doesn't advance properly, then you run out of shit.
Intrepid Games has not announced an official launch date, but rumors say it's going to be in
2025.
late 2023 or maybe early 2024.
2035, guys. 2035. Let's be realistic here. This game still needs 10 years.
A long time for Ashes, and I think you're getting to see a little bit of why people are so hyped about this game. And I hope with this video, I demonstrated just how massive and exciting Ashes of Creation is going to be compared to other MMOs out there. But guys, if you want to take a quick blast to the past and you want to learn about a different MMO from 12 years ago, check out What Makes Guild Wars 2 different from other MMOs. Linked on your screen right now. It's still considered one of the coolest MMOs of all time. It still has a very healthy population, and if you watch this video, you're going to quickly learn as to why. Thank you for watching, everybody. Shout out to the channel members, and I'll see you with my next video.
Damn. I'm shook. I did not know anything about this node system. I was kind of hyped for Ashes. But this whole node system's got me, like, confused. I don't like it when the world is player dependent. In fact, like, in terms of, like, advancing the story or making things happen, I don't like that shit. I don't know, man. This game seems complicated as fuck when it comes to how they're trying to intertwine these nodes. I guess nobody knows. We're going to have to try it and find out. When it comes out, I'm sure we will try. We'll give it a try. We'll see what it's like. And as soon as every content creator and streamer takes over all the nodes and the game is broken, we'll go back to World of Warcraft as we always do.